the seismic chart, and it looks a lot like last year. You see last year right here, these three lines, and the focal point's going to be the first week in April, week number 14. You see the N right there, that's for the near side alignment event. Now I come down here for 2015, and there's week number 14 right there. Got the N. So far, I had this problem last year. You see the 8 magnitude earthquake here? It could very well be that this 8 magnitude quake was my event, but the quakes just kept coming. We had 6, 7 magnitude earthquakes in 19 days, and I could not tell which one it was. I may be readjusting this N back to the 13th week. That's where it belongs. That's where it should be. And here we've got the N in the 13th week of this time. You see we have the big 7 magnitude earthquake right here. That's going to be the Nepal quake from April 25th. Looks like my event because the solar flares that follow directly afterwards. Remember, that's from magnetic portal divergence. After we cross through between the sun and black star, then we pull the magnetic portal connections with us, and they meet the black star sun magnetic portal connection. And that's, even though nobody was forecasting X-class flares, that's why we saw my flares. So that's telling me with some assurance that the Nepal quake is my quake event. Let's look at Earthquake 3D here just for a second. Right here. And you see that there's more shaking and quaking going on. This is not from April, late April 25th. This is the new stuff that's kicking off right there. And this would be rare because from all of my black star alignments, near side and backside, practically all of them are Pacific Ocean Ring of Fire. We're talking Fukushima, Chile, 2010, 8.8 right around here. Guerrero took place around here that started this new seismic activity here. See, there's an earthquake kicking off there, this seismic zone here. So it could very well be because of all, you see this mess that we have here? It could very well be that my event kicked off because of this activity that's pushing all the way into Europe, right? It could very well be that this event was my event right here. And then danger. See this big 6.8 that hit here on the 12th, which is yesterday? Look what I'm looking at. This kicking off again, and then the 6.8 from Japan. And this is the key point right here. Check out the depths of these earthquakes, of what's going on here. Deep, deep, deep stuff, right? Now this 6.8 wasn't that deep, but we have some depth in near proximity. But then when you look at the depth of what's going on over here, this is the Kamchatka swarm that's trying to kick off again. This is the Alaskan swarm. Notice how flat the California swarm is, right? But here's the deal right here. One of these two areas looks like to me that it's going to get a large, like this 6.8. It looks like either here or here. So where you're going to have it because of what's going on inside the Earth right here. Do not expect it to be over here. I expect that there's going to be, looking at the symmetry of this quake swarm right through here, the activity. Notice how close together they are, where you have some divergence here in the Kamchatka swarm. But look at these guys. It's like a stack of pancakes there, right? And pretty darn deep. So we saw the swarm area kick off in Japan. Boom, 6.8. It's just which of these quake swarm areas is going to be next, because it looks to me like we're going to start seeing larger and larger magnitude earthquakes in Alaska moving in this direction. I made the comment with Dutch Sense. He's doing a great job. If you haven't subscribed to Dutch Sense, make sure you do. The guy does a great job. He's not going to bring the black star in there, but he does a good job of keeping up with the earthquakes, what's going on. I'm going to give you a weekly update on a Project Black Star. You don't see that many videos out of me. I'm not going to cover every earthquake like Dutch Sense and Suspicious Observers, BP Earth Watch, Mary Greeley especially. Those people make hundreds of videos. I'm going to give you this weekly update, and when something's important, you remember I gave you a Yellowstone warning, and look at all the activity. And the West Coast warning, if I'm making videos about these particular events, that means it is super, super special. Right? And I could be making one about a linchpin event I'm expecting. If you look all around the Pacific, you do not see any divergence. All these lines are covered up. They're all crossing each other. Pretty much down here, you have a little bit of an opening here, but right here is where I see the problem, right there. And that's where you have the volcanic activity off the coast of Oregon and up towards Canada, right in this area. Watch for a linchpin event that follows a quake event that's right in this area right here. That's where my focus is right now. Where are we in the solar system right now? Then notice that Earth is getting ready to pass between the Sun and Saturn. That's going to be just a few more days. And we're going to come around. Let's see how the moon is going to interact. You see the moon? You guys, this is busy. There's Mars right here. So this is not a direct straight alignment, but with Mars and the Earth and the moon and Saturn, you have a good chance for some more shaking and some more quaking going on. And then when you look down, you notice that Jupiter is right just about making this 90 degree with the Earth. This 90 degree Earth. You see, so watch for the seismicity to continue. More earthquakes. Then, and I have this pushed forward to the 17th, but whenever we get to the 20th, okay, then we're going to cross Black Star orbit path. Black Star is coming across this way, and then it's going to cross Earth orbit path here, where we are on May the 20th. But right now, then after this, we're going to begin to move to outside orbit position. Coming around like this, we're going to start moving away from the black star, and then it's going to depend on black star inbound velocity versus Earth velocity. We're going to be going 60. Earth is slowing down now, reaching aphelion, so that means that we're going, 66 down to 65,000 miles per hour. But we should continue to be outpacing the black star, which means the magnetic portal connection between the Earth and the black star is going to stretch through this period. So from May the 20th to just about where I have it, it's just about the middle of August. See, that's when we make the 90 degree angle between the black star and the sun. When we get that to 90 degree angle, then you're going to go to the seismic chart, and this is what we saw last year, right? You see the O? You're going to see values very similar to this right here, but instead of being the end of July, they're going to be in the middle of August. All of these values from chart are moving down in 2015 about 2 weeks, because the black stars moved about 14 degrees left in the orbit diagram. That's why. So we are in week number 15 right now. See right here, week number 15, but it's in May, it's starting May the 3rd. Week number 15 last year started in the middle of April. You see? So yes, there is symmetry in the chart because this orbit cycle started 2 weeks later. That's the reason why. And the reason for that is because as the black star moves left in the orbit diagram, Earth must come around in orbit farther in order to come into alignment with it. That's why that you're seeing the seismic chart. That's why you're seeing these values, these 3 weeks where we have a lot of earthquakes, just like last year. Focal is the 14th week right there. And if you look, the 14th week is going to be the week of May the 1st, and that's what I projected all the way back in January. This is the focal point, even though for right now, because of the particular way that this earthquake event took place in Nepal with the solar flares that followed, that's the indicator that I'm looking for. So it looks like I'm going to keep the end here, and I may do a little more research and go backwards and move this event back to this 8 magnitude quake that took place in the very beginning of April last year. I have to go back and I have to go check on that. So that's where we are in the solar system, which is, I'm trying not to get this thing to mess up on me when I hold this mouse down too long. So we are right about here, really close, and we're getting ready to come between the sun and Saturn. So expect a high number of 5 magnitude earthquakes. That's what we get each year, as long as the Earth is ready. We get 6s when we pass between Jupiter, 5s when we pass through Saturn. It's much farther away and smaller, so they're not as large magnitude, but we do hit a bump in the road that is noticeable, right? As long as Earth, the tectonic dynamic is ready, it's just ready for, and it's primed right now. If you're looking with me, Earthquake 3D, you're seeing the crap is ready. Stuff's ready, crap's ready to hit the fan, right here. So what makes earthquakes? Other earthquakes. You have earthquakes creating situations. We just had a 5.0 kickoff over here in this Nepal area, too. So let me get you back over here to the newsletter. Lots and lots of information, and as usual, and we had 8 new volcanic eruptions this week, high end of the scale, which is 5 to 10 all the time through the uptick period, and that 5 to 10 continued through the lull period from that ended the year for 2014. That is way different than it was 2011, 2012, whenever we saw between 0 and 4 new volcanic eruptions during the lull period. Now we're continuing to have 5 to 10 all the way through the lull period because of nearing black star proximity. What that means is our move to outside orbit position, and that happens when we're back here. When we pass behind the sun relative to the star, when we're moving to outside orbit position, our velocity is no longer outpacing black star inbound velocity. Okay, so yes, we do see shrinking in the seismic numbers, but the volcanism is continuing to remain high. Earth core temperature is continuing to remain high even through the lull periods. Okay, so let's keep that part in mind. Let me get back over here, and something that I want to share with you guys if I had time, and it looks like that I am going to have time, is I thought that the magnetic pole was going to retrace its steps, and because of this move, this move that it made earlier, but now I can see where no, it is staying on the outside here, and we're seeing that there is about a 2-week disparity from last year. See, this is April 3rd position last year. Now we're at April 12th position, trailing, and this is the 2-week period, the same 2-week lull that I have in my seismic chart. It's the same 2 weeks. Okay, so there is definitely something going on there, with slowly getting more data here that's allowing it to make more sense on what the magnetic North Pole is doing. Then I wanted to share with you, this is a pretty smart fellow right here. It's ADAPT guy. ADAPT 2030. I sent him some information. You can see that I wrote right here, Terrell Black Star. I wrote it yesterday. There's a lot of information there. This is copied over into the newsletter, and then he responded to me. And let's see here. Yeah, he responds to me down here in the newsletter. Is it? Here we go. The mini ice age part. And this is the reply that I wrote. And then ADAPT wrote me. And he asked me a question, and then I'm going to reply to him. And maybe we can get some correspondence going, and you guys can benefit from our exchange. The point is, we are not going through a mini ice age. While it looks like that the old modeling is going to work, the old modeling is going to break down for sure. What we have is the influence of another magnet. That's why the magnetic pole is making this move in these series of loops, because Earth is orbiting around the sun, and the black star is moving left in the orbit diagram, making that disparity. This circular movement is the way that the magnetic North Pole is moving, not according to the traditional redistribution modeling. In other words, Earth metals, the positions change, and that changes the magnetism. That's not what's happening. Although during a geological pole shift created by the black star, that can happen. That's not what is going on with the Earth, though. So he's looking at symptoms of what's going on, but what we have is another star that's connected magnetically to our Earth. That's what's causing the magnetic North Pole to migrate. And that's why the scientists are baffled about the shrinking heliosphere, the weakening magnetosphere, mass animal deaths. All this has to do with magnetism. Not only that, your body is a microcosm of the Earth that is magnetic. So the black star coming in is affecting you too. Some of you have propensities. It's affecting you more than others. So subscribe to my newsletter at terrell03.com. And holy cow, before we go any further, before I run out of time here, then I wanted to share, if I can get back up there, Anita, Christine, Marilyn, Darlene, Breton, Robert subscribed this week, and then Steve and Kevin renewed their subscriptions. Really appreciate you guys' support very, very much, and get my links to the old radio shows right here, and I will see you guys on the next Black Star Update Report.